Did Andrew Tate deserve to get banned? This coordinated effort against him, all the social media platforms banning him at the same time, basically.
The word deserve. What do you mean by that?
Right.
In terms of did he break the TOS and everything? I don't know if he did.
If you were the president of Twitch, do you think that was a reasonable decision for them to make?
No, I don't. I hate a lot of what Andrew Tate says and stand for. I mean, I go on Fresh and Fit and I argue with or Sneeko even. I argue with these like kind of like fresh and fit ideas, the specters of Andrew Tate ideas, I should say.
He is still with us, even if he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I think it says something about your ideology of like the only way to maintain it is to like relentlessly ban and destroy like every other opposing voice.
Right.
Like if these guys are growing massively in popularity, there's got to be a reason for it.
Right.
Like there are people that are really hungry for the type of stuff that Tate is saying. So if you don't have an alternative, you can't just ban it and say fuck all of you guys. Like you find a way to do something about that. You know?
It's scary because we all know it's going to be effective. We all know that we're going to hear so much less because it worked with the fucking president. We barely fucking hear about Trump these days. You know, he's got his own social network, and you still don't really hear about him the way that you used to. Now that he doesn't have access to these things, and I don't know, that one is scary to me. Like you just kind of seen this shit slowly go down. I mean, like yours was like almost this bizarre aberration when I saw you get banned from Twitch and Twitter because I'm like I could not have imagined that in a million years. But then I don't know, just seeing it happen to more and more people, like fucking Sneeko just got his Twitter deleted. I'm like this is a real coordinated effort to take out anybody who has offensive viewpoints. Even though, I mean, like, what's the worst thing you ever heard Andrew Tate say?
Now the worst
girls are dumb. Like I don't really know if that necessitates like a ban from all of social media.
Nah, man. Me personally, like I never heard again. Like I've heard probably Andrew Tate, I guess, lose debates, right? Like when like he puts out these like blanket statements, like women are worse drivers.
Worst
than men.
drivers. I saw
That is a good point. I've seen him basically get his ass handed to him in debates over and over, which makes him seem a lot less scary to me.
Yo, which is why I don't understand then, right? Because obviously there's a particular side who is afraid of countering ideas,
Right.
and that side, more times than not, is the left, where they are just outright scared to counter ideas, and that's why they're all for banning because they don't want to have to debate,
Right.
Yeah, I'll be careful. I won't say it's the left. I'll say it's whoever in that particular point in time has like their thumb or fingers on like the levers of power. Like conservatives were real scared about like gay people and shit in like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Like they didn't want them fucking anywhere too. There was a lot of like LGBT, like get them the fuck off all the platforms and shit. But now that the left is in charge, yeah, it's very much like banning everybody from everything. They don't want to hear opposing points of views.
But there's two things can be true at the same time because you agree that Twitter had the right to ban you from their service, even if you think that they made the wrong decision.
Yeah, of
right?
course. Everybody has the right. Yeah, it's private platforms technically. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I guess that's the whole question. Like, is it? But when it becomes coordinated, it becomes so much scarier in the eyes of the average person who's watching this take place, right? Like, if it was just Twitter doing it, I guess, and if it related back to a specific thing that he said on Twitter, I think everybody would have been able to kind of accept that.
The argument isn't whether or not Twitter has the right? What's the argument, I guess, for people like us is they have the protection, cool, but once they do it, it's the reaction, meaning one side is celebrating this while the other side is saying this shit is not cool. And the side who is celebrating this should be, yo, listen, like we don't agree with people, but we need to come together and burn that shit down. Meaning like if any company is against the freedom of speech, burn that shit down.
I mean, we all feel completely helpless when somebody that we like gets banned from a certain platform, right? It's like we've all had this experience over and over where somebody that you like following is just gone from a platform.
Well, like it's past Andrew Tate, right? So again, I don't even think the Andrew Tate ban is effective because one, there's going to be a new Andrew Tate in 12 months, right? So there's nothing they can do to even like counter that, right? And then there's Rumble now where he's out here doing, 100, right, K, like, I'm live streaming.
Well, those platforms are so niche in comparison to the mainstream social networks. And a lot of people might say that Andrew Tate is kind of like a reaction to Trump getting banned. That like people needed somebody else with this energy, or you could even say it's a totally. Okay, is Andrew Tate like Kevin Samuels in whiteface? Like, was that a big part of his appeal? Is that he was putting forth the same fucking platform in a lot of ways, but he was doing it as a white guy?
Nah, so I feel like
a kickboxer.
No, I feel like if Kevin Samuels would have like stuck to his like original thing, which was male empowerment, then Andrew Tate would have probably been the like the white face Kevin Samuels, even though he's black. But
Andrew Tate definitely went a lot more overboard in a lot of ways. Yeah, like Kevin
But
Samuels.
did he say anything that was? You bring up a good question. Like, what did he say that was like so fucked up?
I don't know. And whenever you ask that question, people say like he was arrested for trafficking humans or whatever.
Yeah, but he
it's
wasn't
like
convicted on anything.
What the fuck does that? That's not what we're talking about.
And you don't
like,
get banned from Twitter for having like a prior conviction, and he didn't even get convicted of anything.
And there was a video of him beating a girl, which I too found kind of baffling. Like I don't know exactly what the idea was of that. I mean, you don't get banned off social media for being an abuser, right?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if it was the one girl, hasn't she come out and said that like that was part of like some shit they did or whatever?
See, he's better researched than me. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Right. So like the girl came out and said pretty much like, and she told him to do it on like to like record it or some bullshit like that, right? So like it was actually recorded and put out. You feel me? So like now my question to you is, again, just put it on our conspiracy hat. What do you think they think is so dangerous about Andrew Tate? Do you think it's because his message is empowering young men to feel like, yo, listen, you can be the best you, work out, get right, and now these young men are not, stepping stools for females?
That's a really positive review of his message to the world, but
I think people get too conspiratorial, and I don't like it because it inhibits the ability to see like the actual problems. I think that a lot of these tech companies are like very San Francisco mindset. Like they're very much like the culture of the company is like a very ultra progressive company, and the people inside probably feel pretty committed to like these ultra progressive values, and you get a lot of that reinforcement like up and down the corporate ladder. And I think that's all you really need to explain like the actions of the people in the company and why people are getting banned. Like when I don't think the Andrew Tate thing is somebody thinking like, okay, we're gonna disempower white men in the United States. Like this is gonna be the best way to I don't think it's that. They probably assume like this guy's like a raging misogynistic anti-woman, and we got to get rid of this guy because he's corrupting the youth. Like they genuinely probably believe that is my guess, just based on personal involvement with them, things I hear about like different cultures inside different tech companies like Twitch and whatnot. And it seems to be pretty consistent with all the messaging. Yeah.
Would you feel any sort of way about platforming Andrew Tate? Like if you had him on your stream I
mean, I do. At this point, I'll platform anybody. Almost,
right, you platform people way more offensive than him. But I mean, do you feel like that is even a concern? Because I mean, I got a lot of shit for interviewing Milo Yiannopoulos back in the day. And in retrospect, I kind of understand why, because I wasn't smart enough to like really understand what he was doing really in like a lot of ways. And, people ended up viewing a lot of what he was doing differently down the road. But now in 2022, I'm kind of like, I feel like there's a certain responsibility on you if you're going to have somebody who disagrees with you a lot on your show. Like, I mean, I think you have that responsibility to be able to defend your positions well. Ack got some shit, DJ Academics, because he had Candace Owens on.
All right, people, we just hit 300,000 subscribers. You know we're trying to hit 400,000 subscribers. So that little red button, tap it, tap in. Appreciate y'all.